Good afternoon, everyone. Great to be here, and welcome to our wonderful building. My name's Edward Montgomery. I'm the president of Western Michigan University. Today is truly an exciting day for the students of the Grand Rapids area, from those across the state, and for Western Michigan University. I'm announcing the greatest expansion of financial and programmatic support for Broncos in our institution's history, and the first of many steps to be supported by the Empowering Futures gift, which ultimately will help students and their families realize their own version of the American dream and advance social mobility in our state. It is fitting to share this news at Western's Grand Rapids campus, where every day we give students the chance to study, to engage, and to build a brighter future. Western Michigan University's own commitment to advancing learners and to providing a collegiate experience that encourages exploration in pursuit of passion and meaningful careers was propelled forward in June of this year with the announcement of this $550 million donation from anonymous alumni, the largest gift ever given to a public university in U.S. history. A core goal of our generous donors and their incredible philanthropy is enhancing student outcomes in an inclusive and equitable way. They see Western as a university with a tradition of creating opportunities, dedicated to changing lives and communities, and they wanted to accelerate and broaden our impact as we break down barriers for every student who seeks a college education and to give them the ability to build a life and a career they love. They share our vision to become the social mobility university in the state. They wanted to fuel that vision and are putting resources behind it in ways that we hope will inspire others to do the same. To pursue the full measure of our mission and vision, we have a weighty challenge to meet. We're at a crossroads in our nation's history where a college degree is more important than ever, as recognized by Governor Whitmer's 60 by 30 strategy to increase the number of state college graduates to 60% by the year 2030. Artificial intelligence, rapid technological change, and the changing nature of the work are at the root of this need. Yet access to college degrees for all who seek them is at risk and getting further out of reach for far too many. Higher education often thinks of the problem in terms of affordability, as the burden for college has shifted from the public to the student. Without question, this is a real issue and a barrier for too many students and their families. But we believe it's only one of several obstacles to student success. Access is important, but true success requires attention to what happens after the student enrolls. Getting not just more students in seats, but more diplomas in hand requires a comprehensive strategy. So we are investing the Empowering Futures gift in an ecosystem of student support that reduces barriers on many fronts that include affordability, as well as enhanced community, belonging, and experiential learning. It's therefore my pleasure to announce the first application for the Empowering Futures initiatives. First, beginning next year, we will provide $2.4 million in new scholarships to 1,350 deserving students. This investment in bright and talented individuals will support student academics, career, and residential needs, and offer a springboard to rich and rewarding lives. These scholarships will provide tuition-free education. Low-cost housing will be paired with innovative living learning communities, stipends for internships to foster career exploration and development, and completion grants to help upper-level Western students navigate unexpected expenses that could derail their graduation. The first comprehensive support of its kind, this inaugural application of the Empowering Futures gift will remove barriers that too often keep underrepresented and underserved students from starting and completing their collegiate journey. Allow me to provide some specifics on each of these components. Financial obstacles end college dreams before they even begin. dreams like those of a young Eddie Warr, who couldn't imagine while he was growing up in an unstable home in and out of the foster care system. Eddie vented his frustrations by acting out and getting in trouble as a youth. But then he became a father at a young age. He quickly found motivation to step up and give his daughter a better start than the one he had. He earned an associate degree right up at Grand Rapids Community College, and then he transferred to Western Michigan University to earn a bachelor's degree in finance. To provide opportunity to more students like Eddie, we're launching the Bronco Promise, a tuition-free Western Michigan education for up to 5 years for eligible students eligible students next year. The university anticipates awarding these incredible scholarships to 340 students in year one, and ultimately 600 students will, when the program is fully implemented. The Bronco Promise will be open to students from Michigan families with an adjusted gross income of $50,000 or less and $50,000 or less in assets. It will open up the possibility of higher education to students who might have thought college was out of their reach, and invite them to join the 9 out of 10 Broncos who get jobs that they love soon after they graduate in fields related to their majors. The Bronco Promise is an excellent example of how the Empowering Futures Gift is extending the capacity of the university to graduate students in a changing world. The Promise expands upon federal Pell support to cover the cost of tuition. In students' first 2 years, the first $1,200 of the Promise support will be funded by the gift, and the balance for the entirety of the 5-year scholarships will be paid by institutional dollars. So we both will be investing in this program. Tuition, of course, isn't the only obstacle to college entry and completion. Even with very low or no tuition costs, housing expenses can keep a student from embarking on a college degree. So we're providing 110 income-eligible students with up to $6,000 in housing and dining scholarships for their first year, cutting costs, living costs, in half. Preference for those need-based scholarships will go to admitted first-year students or new transfer students from places like the Grand Rapids Promise or the Detroit Promise or the Kalamazoo Promise, although students from anywhere in Michigan are eligible to apply. Data shows that students who live on campus do better academically and are more likely to graduate. At Western, we know that 63% of our on-campus residents have at least a 3.0 grade point average. That's why we're investing in our campus facilities and developing an innovative new living learning community. Now, there are living learning communities that are incredibly popular and successful, but they historically have been tied to one particular major, an engineer or something like that. But college students change their major on average 3 times. So we wanted an experience that we built for students who may not know what their major is, who may be changing their major, or those who arrive and want a community not based on their major, but perhaps based on a shared cause like sustainability or social justice, or perhaps those who wanted to build it around a competency like entrepreneurship or leadership. This new community will give students the chance to discover their interests while they explore careers, get involved in campus life, and hone their study skills. We'll encourage them to embrace the full campus experience inside and outside of the classroom as they build their own exciting and inspiring futures. Now, career exploration has long been a vital part of college. Activities like internships enable students to build skills, grow their networks, and experience that leads to their first job. At Western, 93% of our graduates report engaging in or completing at least one experiential educational opportunity while in school. We're very proud of that number, but at the same time, as we focus on exploration that leads to a meaningful career, we want to expand the number of students who have access to high-quality internships, transformative experiences that give students resume-worthy experience, help them build a network for references in the future, and enable them to sharpen their career focus. Unfortunately, many of these internships are out of the reach of students who often need to have high earnings or higher earnings and can't take unpaid internships or can't take advantage of an internship that may be located not where they grew up, in a different city. And so we want to make sure they have the support to be able to do those kinds of opportunities. We talked about Eddie Warr, and he's another example of somebody who did just that. He took career guidance that led him to apply for a Greenleaf Trust scholarship, which offered him both an internship but also access to a mentorship that helped hone his professional skills. Today, Eddie is a wealth manager at Greenleaf Trust, who's helping others with their goal while raising his little girl. Stories like Eddie are why, beginning in 2022, we'll provide 100 students with a stipend of up to $3,600 a year for off-campus employment-based internships. These are need-based competitive awards and based on the hours that people work. It's critical that these internships continue to offer quality on-the-job learning for students and attract top employers who are willing to invest on both sides. And so we're going to provide dedicated staff to make sure those matching work out really well. And so both students and employers find success at Western. We're going to expand completion grants. We know that students often have very little financial flexibility while they're in college. So when unexpected challenges that come up when they're near graduation, they often can get sidetracked or maybe even have to drop out. Those things could be health emergencies. Something happens in the family. Something may happen to their car, and that can derail somebody. That's why we're going to be doubling our completion grant program by offering 800 upper-level WMU undergraduates up to $1,000 for tuition and fees to help keep them on campus and on course. These modest-sized grants have proven to make a big difference to students who've put in years and just need a few more credits to be able to complete. They bridge an important financial gap, but more importantly, they provide a sense of relief and offer a boost of confidence that lasts well beyond the walk across the commencement stage. Now, these are all exciting opportunities for those students like those who are standing, who will be here today. At Western, newly bolstered by the Empowering Futures gift, we're building on our mission set forth by our founders so that all may learn. By helping Michigan families who most need it to give their children access to a brighter future in the form of a college education. By supporting the exploration and the discovery and career development that 21st century students most need. By offering a holistic university experience built on the foundations of diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're demonstrating that Western Michigan University's continuing commitment to success for all of its students. And we're just getting started. In addition to what we've announced today, we're already planning programmatic strategies that we'll share early in 2022 for innovative new supports for students that will also be funded by the Empowering Futures gift and enable them to pursue their purpose, live well, and build meaningful careers. I'd like to turn the mic over to one additional speaker. Honor Calderon, the 2019 Grand Rapids Union High School valedictorian. Honor is now studying at Western as a foundation scholar, a biomedical science major, who planning to have a career as a physician. Now, he's not just your ordinary student. He's going to be graduating in 3 years and then on to medical school. A truly remarkable young man. Honor, let me turn it over to you.
Buenas tardes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Honor Calderon. I am a third-year pre-medical student at Western Michigan University, majoring in biomedical sciences and minoring in chemistry. I am also a student at the Lee Honors College and also a member of Pi Beta Kappa Society, which, as some of you may know, is the oldest honor society in the United States and also the most prestigious given its academic selectivity. Today that I am being given this opportunity to talk to you, I want to share a little bit about my story, the academics that I have faced as a first-generation college student, and also a little bit about my academics. I grew up in Guatemala in a very poor and underprivileged village, where education and healthcare services are only luxuries that only rich people can enjoy. My mother was married for 25 years. During her marriage, she gave birth to 6 children. But unfortunately, my mother was also a victim of domestic violence. My mother's first child was a beautiful little girl named Rosemary, who the week before her birthday became ill. My parents didn't have the money to take her to the hospital, and a week later, on her birthday, my sister unfortunately passed away. Despite the death of my sister, the domestic abuse towards my mother didn't stop. Instead, it worsened. In fact, in 2015, the domestic abuse was so bad that my mother decided to flee from my father, leaving Guatemala and moving to the United States with her 5 children. Once in the United States, my little brother and I were the only ones in the family who got the chance to go to school and started to learn English. My 3 older siblings were not given this opportunity because they were required to help my mother with the expenses that came when settling in a country where we had nothing, in a country that we didn't know. I understood that not only my mother, but also my older siblings were sacrificing so much just to give me the opportunity to pursue an education. Because of this, I promised myself that I was going to do everything I could to potentially succeed academically, to then be able to not only benefit my family, but also my community. In 2015, 4 years after coming to the United States, and after speaking no English at all, I was able to graduate as valedictorian. I graduated with 51 college credits and with 3 Fulbright scholarships to important universities in the state of Michigan, including Western Michigan University. Now, I am very close with my family, especially with my little brother and my mother. In high school, I was able to succeed academically because of all the emotional support that I was able to obtain from my family. However, I understood that it was going to be impossible for me to physically bring my family with me to college. Because of this, it became very important for me to not only do research, but also to visit the universities to determine in which university I was going to be feeling more comfortable and also more emotional supported, as I know that this was crucial for my success. Of course, I felt this way the most at Western Michigan University, and probably the biggest reason behind this was the Foundation Scholarship. The Foundation Scholarship is one of the biggest scholarships that this university offers. It was originally initiated in 2015, and it focuses in supporting students who have demonstrated personal resilience and outstanding academic performance, despite academic and other difficulties. Students like me who receive this scholarship become part of a community of students who support each other and work together to achieve common goals. I have now been at Western for 2 years and a half, and I have come to realize that on top of having so many opportunities for students, academically, emotionally, and financially speaking, this university promotes diversity, which becomes very important for students like me so that we can feel comfortable and also welcomed in order to succeed academically. I will be graduating next semester, and I would like to share that upon graduation, I will be applying to medical school to potentially become a family medicine physician. One of my goals is to be able to become a physician in areas where underprivileged people live, more specifically, where the Latinx and the Black communities live, as we understand that these are the communities that lack access to medical services the most. Another big goal of mine is to potentially, eventually in the future, be able to go back to the little village in Guatemala where I grew up. Up to this day, people continue to die without getting the chance to see a doctor. And as human beings, I believe that every single one of us has the responsibility to be able to help each other, especially those in our communities and those who need it the most. Similar to me, I know that there are so many students who are determined to go to college, to become professionals, to then be able to help their communities. But unfortunately, many of these students are going to end up wasting their potentials because they are going to face the barrier that most students in this country face, which is lack to access to financial opportunities. It is clear that Western Michigan University recognizes this, and this is why this institution is now going to be offering more opportunities and more scholarships for students so that they can go to college, become the professionals they want to become, to then be able to help their communities. As a student who comes from a single parent family, I know that I wouldn't be here today in front of you talking and sharing my story and also my academic goals if it weren't for the opportunities that Western Michigan University gave me. Knowing that this university is now going to offer even more opportunities for future students makes me even prouder to say that I am a student at this particular institution. In fact, today that this announcement is being made, I believe that the phrase, it's a great day to be a Bronco fits more than perfectly. Thank you so much for your attention, and vamos Broncos.
I can't say anything to top that, so I would stop and see if there's any questions from the media or other folks. And seeing none, then I just want to thank everybody for being here today. It's really an exciting day, I think, for students, for the university, for the state, I hope. And this will be the first of many announcements on the Empowering Futures gift and our steps forward. So thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it.